If the Republicans do, in fact, take back the House next week, one of the most watched committees next year will be the Energy and Commerce panel. It has oversight over health care and energy policy. But one question businesses are asking, who will chair it? Texas Congressman Joe Barton is the ranking Republican this year. He chaired the committee before Democrats took power in 2006, and he's hoping to win that job back next year. Congressman Barton, thanks for joining us here on In Business. How receptive has Republican leadership been to your request for another term?
Well, right now the House Republican leadership and myself are focused on actually winning the elections next week. We have to win at least 218 elections in each district in order for the Republicans to be in the majority. Once that's done, we'll sit down and figure out who's going to chair which committee. And I have a very good relationship with the leadership in the steering committee, and I'm working very hard as they are. And I feel hopeful and expectant that they will nominate me to be chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee to the full Republican conference. But it's not over, and let's win the election first.
So you are expecting that. When you say you have a good relationship with leadership there, we were just showing images there of Minority Leader Boehner. That's who you're speaking about. You do have his support for this job?
Well, he is focusing on helping everybody nationwide. I talked to him on the phone earlier this week. We had a very cordial conversation. I've attended several events during the campaign out in the country. Bless his heart, he's traveling every day in dozens of districts. I travel once or twice a week, so he's a busy man, and hopefully it'll pay off next week when we get a majority of the House seats. But once that happens, I think Leader Boehner and Mr. Cantor and Mr. Pence and the Republican Steering Committee will be very receptive to my petition to be nominated to be chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee. It's not a done deal,
right,
but I think I'm in very good shape.
Well, with the Bloomberg poll out this morning, it is showing the expectation that Republicans will take the House. Not as clear on the policy mandate side of things, but let's get to policy. From your perspective, during the worst of the BP oil spill, it seemed inevitable that we would see some sort of energy overhaul, a spill bill. Seems much less certain now. What can we actually expect out of a new Congress?
Our primary focus in the early part of the next Congress, again, if we're given the majority, which hasn't happened yet, will be to repeal the new health care law, which we call Obamacare. I think we will also reinstate the Bush tax cuts. If Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader Reid and President Obama don't do that in the lame duck session, I think you'll see us aggressively move a spending reduction bill. Hopefully, I would advocate a lowering of the capital gains tax. Now that hasn't been vetted, but that would be an issue that I would put on the table. In the energy area, we will not move a cap and trade bill. That issue is a dead duck. We will aggressively oversee the Environmental Protection Agency. I would call them more the empty promises agency, the environmental protection.
Well, any chance that you'd replace the EPA air quality rules with a more flexible mechanism in there when we get to the specifics of what might be on the policy front? Well,
we have the Regional Environmental Protection Agency here in Texas is challenging the state of Texas flexible permitting process. I think the state's got it right. Our air quality in Texas has improved, and now the EPA is coming in and overturning all those permits. I think the EPA is wrong and the state of Texas is right. That's something that we would strongly consider holding hearings on. I don't think you'll see an aggressive energy bill as much as you will see let's try to work with the market, let's try to do things in the electric grid system, and then work with some of the other committees in the Congress on overseeing the Outer Continental Shelf and make sure that we can continue a responsible drilling program. I do not think it was right to put the moratorium in place.
Congressman, I want to get to some of the specifics of energy policy we were talking about, and I want to talk about a compromise on power plants, but let's first clear the air. There is concern here, sir, about how friendly you are to the energy industry when people raise issues with you continuing or having that role of chairman there. They think of what you said during the BP hearings, and you've already apologized for it, but let's listen in.
I apologize. I do not want to live in a country where any time a citizen or a corporation does something that is legitimately wrong is subject to some sort of political pressure that is, again, in my words, amounts to a shakedown.
Can you clear the air on that, Congressman?
Well, as I said earlier in that statement, I think BP was culpable and should be held accountable, and they have stepped to the plate and are working to change their procedures. And
you would still be aggressive with them should you have that role?
Oh, yeah. I led the investigation against BP 7 or 8 years ago when they had the oil spill in their pipeline up in Alaska. So I'm a pro-market, free enterprise capitalist, but I'm not an apologist for industry. They need to comply with the rules and be good citizens.
Yes or no answer on this. Do you think there's a compromise possible on power plants?
I would say yes.
All right, we've got to leave it there, Congressman. Thank you.